ACBN, the channel of champions.
I see.
Good evening, welcome back to Couples Classic on ACBN TV. Your regular host, Pastor Funke Aluko. I'm here again today on the same topic we started out with, the secrets of sexual fulfillment in marriage. I have on set once again with me my good friend. She was here last week. She was also here with another guest. We are still expecting Pastor Makari, all the way from Abuja. We are expecting him to join us here on set again today. But while we expect him, we have Mrs. Uju Valerian Raphael joining me to talk about this very, very interesting topic. We had some calls last week, and we expect to have you calling again to be part of this show, ask your questions, contribute, because we need to get it right. Before we go on to our discussion for today, I'd like Mrs. Uju to say hello to my viewers and probably say one or two things before we hit it hard on this topic. Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. What do I have to say? Okay. I've already told my friends to meet me up at Couples Classic, so we'll hit it up from there.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much for honoring this invite. Okay, now last week we started out on the topic, secrets of sexual fulfillment in marriage. We all know that sex or lovemaking is one important aspect of marriage that, bonds, couples together. We've had so many couples argue on this subject. A lot of marriages are being troubled because of the issues concerning sex. And the essence of this discussion is to help viewers understand that it's important for couples to know how their partners feel about lovemaking and get everything corrected in case there are issues. Last week we looked at several tidbits that helps enrich lovemaking. We talked about love. Sex can either be mating or lovemaking, and I established the fact that lovemaking is for humans and mating is for animals. The difference is that humans engage in sex because of love. So once love is absent, then it becomes mating. So it depends on you, what are you doing with your spouse. We also talked about knowledge. What do you know about lovemaking? What do you understand about lovemaking? How many books have you read? what do you really know, about lovemaking? So your knowledge base, becomes very important, so that you are not doing it out of ignorance. It becomes important for you to go out, search, research on the act of lovemaking. It's important. There are several books that you can also get that would help you. Okay, we also talked about togetherness. And I think that was the last point before we called it a day last week. We talked about together. Maybe we can even start off from there. Lovemaking, togetherness. Many couples, live apart each other, and that's all. There are couples don't seem to understand that. It becomes important for you to recognize the fact that you need to stay very close to your partner for your sexual life to be enriched. So let's talk about togetherness once again when it comes to love making. How does it contribute to success in love making in marriage?
When it comes to togetherness, there are couples who live together, but their communication system is still
wide apart
and very far from each other.
Okay.
So there are couples who are distant, but their communication trails. So living together, it's all about communication, the way you communicate with your partner.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because there are some people who are still distant, but their communication are very tight, very close. Living together, it comprises of a whole lot. The person you're living with, are you really in love with this person?
Okay.
Because when love is in a union, you don't need someone to tell you.
Okay.
Even people out there will see it. But when the love is not there, the communication, it's empty. And even they are together, but their hearts are far apart from each other. So the basic of that togetherness, it's the communication amongst the two people.
And that depends on the kind of communication that transfers between the couple.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for their sex life to broaden, it's about how open they are to each other. Because you can be together, but we don't discuss sex. Yes. There are couples that are living together in the same apartment, but whenever sex issue comes up, one person will put it like a bluff. I don't want to hear about it. Yes. But when they discuss sex and when they are open to each other about their sex life, that's when the fun, the sweetness of the whole thing plays in.
Okay.
Yes, so couples need to be talking about their sex life and need to be spicing things up, and that's where communication comes in. Because when somebody is not satisfying me and I open up, he will know that he's not satisfying me.
Okay.
But when you are like, after the whole fun, you just get up and go, and you'll be like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want him to know, so he won't feel bad about that. People learn every day.
People learn every day. Yes.
And with telling, maybe somebody might be wrong in some things, and you would like hold the information away from, like, I don't want him or her to get angry. But when you open up and talk about it, he might pretend as if he's not listening, but he has grabbed something out of that particular something you said.
Now, but there are partners that don't seem to understand when one is talking. I know of a particular couple. The wife, told me that she tried to initiate a kind of a dialogue with the husband. Okay, she is the kind of woman that likes foreplay, thorough foreplay, but he likes to just come in, and then once he's done, he stands up. Okay, for several years, she's been trying to communicate that to the man, and he doesn't seem to want to understand that that is how she can enjoy sex. What do you have to say concerning such people?
A lot of people need sexual orientation.
Okay.
To me, a lot of people need sexual orientation because some people are still in the, what will I say, in the 60s.
Okay.
Yes, but every day new thing comes up every day, because the computer we are using now, it's not what we are using then.
Okay.
It's not what we are using in the 60s.
All right.
Laptops are out, iPad, everything, you know, Android phone, everything, you know. As the year is going by, marriage life should be spiced up, should be changed, new things should come in.
Okay.
And you know, when your partner wants something in particular, it's all about dialogue. It's all about, okay, sweetie, let's talk about it.
All right.
Yes. You as a man, you give your wife the listening ear. You as a woman, you give your husband the listening ear.
Okay.
Okay, is this what you really want? Okay. You bring in your own. You guys must arrive at a conclusion if it's couple who understand each other. Yes. You people must arrive at a conclusion. Okay, this is what my wife wants. Okay, this is what my husband wants. But when a couple brings up a suggestion and you now call it a bluff, the person feels he's not into me and he doesn't even care about my feelings, you know. That is where doubt comes in.
Exactly. That is where doubt comes in. So it's important for couples to be together, to experience that togetherness for their sexual lives, you know, for them to have experience fulfillment in their sexual life. When your partner is saying this is what, you know, makes him enjoy sex, then you would need to adhere, or you need to look into it and do your best to make sure that you give it to your partner the way your partner wants it. It's important. Communication in your sexual life, even during lovemaking. During lovemaking, it's possible for couples to be interacting. You understand?
Yeah, during lovemaking, the body language is very important. Because you can't be making love to somebody who you said you love so much, and you won't be looking at their eyes. Yes. Like for instance, I am my husband.
So eye contact is important.
Eye contact is very important. I love to stare him at the eye.
Okay.
And see that passion he has for me.
If you don't see the passion, what happens? It
Why
disconnects
won't I
you.
see it?
No, I'm just
it
asking.
It disconnects me.
It disconnects you.
I will like, baby, you're not feeling me. What's going on?
Okay.
Yes.
So both parties should establish some form of eye contact.
The eye contact is very important in lovemaking.
In lovemaking. So couples, are you listening? If you're there listening, well, the sex therapist has established the fact that while you are on it, you need to establish some form of eye contact with your partner, so that you can get connected with each other to find out if he or she is in. And I think that's quite important.
Yes, very
it's important because you really need to know if your partner is enjoying it.
Yes, because with their body language, you will know whether he's really enjoying it or they are just trying to please you. Because when you are making love with your partner, it's all about, I want to please my wife, I want to please my husband.
And that is where togetherness happens. Okay? Love making should make you want to, what do you call it now? Satisfy your partner.
Yes.
Okay? If you are that kind of partner that wants your spouse to enjoy, you know, sex while it lasts, then you are actually together. We are still on ACBN TV, Couples Classic. We are talking on secrets of sexual fulfillment in marriage. In case you are watching and you wish to give us a call, there are numbers to call and they are going to be displayed shortly on the screen. Please do call and ask your question. Perhaps you want to contribute or you want to bring an issue to the fore that will help other couples. Please feel free. You're welcome. Okay, let's also talk about this togetherness in another, you know, aspect. We know of couples, I think we mentioned it in passing last week, we know of couples that have different rooms. You know, the husband has his own room, the wife has her own room, you understand, and what do you have to say concerning this room? I know that, well, it's important for women to have their own privacy or something where their clothes, their shoes and everything can be neatly arranged and all that. But don't you think that these separate rooms, you understand, in marriage could interfere when it comes to this subject matter?
You see, when you talked about it, I was laughing.
Okay.
Because let me use myself as an example. I have my own room.
Okay.
Because sometimes in our main bedroom, my husband will be like, your properties are getting too much in here.
Okay.
I thought you have your own room where you keep couples, if they have their own room, it's no big deal. But I have my own room, but there is no bed on it.
There's no bed in it. So your own room is just designed for you to be able to, arrange your things, your clothes and your shoes. There is no bed in it. Not everybody understands this. Please, in case you have your own room, the sex therapy is saying that for her, her room is just for her clothes, her things, you understand? But there is no bed. So you don't get tempted to, want to sleep in your room when you're angry.
No.
I make sure I don't have a separate room, from my husband. I make sure I don't have. I actually was tempted to have that. But, I make sure that I don't have, because all the rooms in my house, they all have their beds. So we had to share the rooms for different purposes: the children, the boys' room, the girls' room, visitors' room, and the rest of that. Now, that's my own way of tackling that. So now it also helps the woman to be able to arrange her things, properly. Because if a woman is married to some men that are very meticulous, then you would have to be on your toes to make sure that room is properly kept. So whichever way that is convenient, make sure that you don't sleep in separate room. Is that not what you're saying?
No, the issue is your things should be in your room, but there should be no bed. Because even when couples are quarreling, sleep on the same bed. That's me.
That's it. So what she's saying is that you can have your own room where your things are neatly arranged. However, you are not supposed to sleep in your room. You are to sleep in the same room with your husband. That establishes togetherness. So in another point or another aspect or another thing that can help you, achieve sexual fulfillment is when you are together with your husband, together in idea, together in thoughts, together in mind, together in purpose, even together in why you are, having sex or your eats with your husband.
Couples should learn to black out everything that bothers them when they're in the bedroom. Because when you come into your bedroom, it's another atmosphere altogether.
Okay.
So your bedroom is where you just have to think about each other.
Oh, your bedroom is where you don't think about any other thing in the bedroom, or is it that once it is time, you blank out?
For sleeping, once it's time for your husband needs you and your wife wants that cuddling.
Exactly.
Everything should be blanked out.
Shut everything, away from you. Very important. Okay, we've really talked about togetherness. Let's move on to another aspect I'd like us to look at. Privacy. I want us to look at privacy. Lack of privacy destroys sexual life in marriage. Okay, and then couples should endeavor to have their rooms to themselves, as good says, only survive under the atmosphere of privacy. Okay, so let's talk about privacy. In getting one's sexual life quite exciting. What do you have to tell my viewers?
Privacy is very important. But you see, privacy. Sometimes when I look at the economy of the country and the rate of poverty everywhere, there are some people that live in a room. Okay?
Okay.
And in that room, their children are there.
Okay.
And the only time they have to copulate is when the kids are
Asleep,
out or when the kids are asleep.
which is quite
And
dangerous.
as they are even having it when the kids are asleep, they are always timing themselves. Because definitely one among the children will be mischievous.
Very mischievous.
Yes. The person might get up, I want to pee. And you guys are caught in the act, you know. Yes. Privacy is good for couples. Privacy
Very
is
important.
very good
Very
for couples.
important for couples.
Yes.
Privacy is very important for couples. Okay, whether the couple lives in a room or they live in a flat or something, it's important for them to plan their privacy. There are so
Yes.
many things can intrude or can distort that. We are going
It's
to
the
continue.
way they take care, they train their kids. Because mine, I have this door sign, do not disturb.
Okay.
Yes. And I told my kids, when from little, whenever you see this sign, do not disturb, know that mommy needs.
How old? How old for such kids? Do not disturb. So
I
that we
started
don't-
from 5.
5.
Once a child is 5 years old,
And that sense.
and they had it in mind that,
That sense.
mommy is in do not disturb sign.
Oh,
Like there was a
Jesus.
time when my visitor came.
5 years old. Is that
Yes.
not early?
Yes, the time when my visitor came, it was like, Auntie, my mommy is do not disturb time. That was.
Has she ever asked you the question, why do not
She later
disturb?
asked me. She said, "Which one is do not disturb?"
So what was your answer?
I said, "I have privacy on Saturday with my husband. I don't."
That would send some form of ideas to that child. Okay, it's okay, no problems. We are still going to continue on this aspect of privacy. I would like us to go on break very shortly. Viewers, please don't go away. We are going to go on break, and please, when we come back, we want you to please give us calls and for you to be part of this discussion. Thank you once again. Don't go away. Welcome back, viewers, to Couples Classic on ACBN TV. We have been on the topic today, secrets of sexual fulfillment in marriage, and I've been on set with the sex therapist, Mrs. Uju Raphael, and my guest we've been expecting is here now with us, Pastor Makari Patrick. Can you say hello to my viewers, please?
Hello, everyone, and sorry for coming in late, but I'm sure we'll have a good time.
I am
The
sure
remaining time,
yeah,
we'll have a good time.
All right, amongst all the points that has been raised, we are on another point that has to do with privacy. We know that distractions, comes to distort the pleasure couples derive in lovemaking. Now we want to deal on the topic of privacy. Now I also want us to look at privacy from another angle. We know that there are so many homes, so many families that have had to or have been saddled with the responsibility of, having, their family members, in-laws, friends. Like I know of a particular lady whose husband's friends, about 4 or 5 grown-up men, live in their houses. In their house rather, and so many times when they want to, be together or be alone, it comes like a kind of interference. What do you have to say concerning that aspect for couples who don't enjoy privacy, in their homes? I think I have a call now. Blessing from Katsina. Please, if you can hear us, Blessing from Katsina. You're welcome to
Can you hear me? The other woman said that it's good for her to have her own room. It's bad. If she really knows that they are one, they're supposed to be together as one blood, as one flesh. She said that she have her own room. The room is only the keeping her clothes. For me, she's a lazy woman. If she's a neat woman, she's supposed to stay with the same room with her husband. So maybe what makes her husband to ask her to go to the house because she's a lazy woman, that is right.
Madam Blessing, can you please rephrase, your question again? We're just trying to get to hear you properly. But I hope you can hear us, yes? Okay. Madam Blessing from Katsina, can you hear us? Can you hear me, please? All right. We couldn't really get to, we couldn't really get to hear her. You can try to call back. We didn't get your question or your contribution. We'll be glad to have your call back. Now, back to you, Pastor Makari. Talking about privacy amongst couples as a way to enhance sexual fulfillment.
I would say privacy is very important for couples to enjoy sexual fulfillment in their marriage. However, if you find yourself in a situation where you have in-laws staying with you or you have friends staying with you and you don't really have the kind of privacy you need, I feel the husband and wife need to talk about it. I believe in the first place, before anybody comes stay in my house, I have to discuss it with my wife. So for people who live, for instance, maybe in a 3-bedroom flat, and you're giving one room, to these guys to stay in, or ladies, whoever they are, and you feel that you can still have some privacy, in the other room, I think that's okay. But I will opt for, assisting people to rent their own houses, so that we can have the privacy we actually need. But I think it's important couples talk about it. And if they are comfortable, that's fine. But in a place where there's no communication, there's a problem.
Yes, we talked about communication when we started out. Couples should learn to communicate about everything in order to help their sexual lives. Still on the privacy, I want to agree with you. They need to talk about it and they need to do something something about these in-laws who would come and begin to interfere in their privacy, because you see, little issues can interfere in the mood for lovemaking.
Yeah.
Because issues from in-laws can come up and now begins to create some form of this affection amongst couples, and that will interfere with their sexual lives. Do you think so?
I agree with it. You see, this issue of in-laws. I do advise new married couples that you guys should have your life first before inviting anybody to your house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you guys got married, you need to feel each other around.
Exactly.
You need to enjoy your honeymoon, because you guys need to run around. You know, when marriage
you
is
need
still
to
young,
run around.
it's sweet.
Let me pick that from you, because this is important. You guys need to run around. In every man, in every man, there is a small boy.
Yes, in every man.
There's a small boy that wants to play. In every girl, there's a little girl that needs to be shown, attention. And when there are too many people, the house is like a marketplace. You're not going to achieve that.
When we were doing courtship, we were still doing hide and seek.
Exactly.
But now it's marriage.
You're still doing hide and seek.
It's marriage, so everybody needs to open up to this is really what I want.
Exactly.
You know, you guys need to know your house, and your house will know the smell of the both of you.
Exactly.
It's not once you get married and in-laws are coming from here, coming from there. No juicy sweet of this thing you call marriage. And before you know it, once they start coming, they have already started coming.
They've started coming.
And they will not stop.
Yeah.
So that early stage of marriage, it's just for the both of you.
Exactly.
You need to catch the fun and the juicy part of it, And it makes the bond very stronger.
And you see, lack of privacy is what causes, makes it boring, in marriage.
Yeah.
Whereby everything you do when it comes to love affair starts and ends in the room.
No, that's...
You cannot express yourself
so
in different, areas of your house,
I want to say something. In a situation where, for some people, I understand that it's really difficult not to allow your in-laws or brothers and sisters come in, because if you are the most well-to-do person in the family,
they want to come around,
they just want to come, and sometimes you have pressure, from mom, dad, help your brother, help your sister, and all of that. So, peradventure you're watching and you're a victim, I think the best thing you can do is that from time to time you can go on vacation, maybe on weekend, just book a hotel, go where you and your wife can be very free to do what you want to do. And I think it's important that husbands don't just bring in people and wives don't just bring in people without talking. Yes.
Agreement. Well, for those watching, in-laws, if perhaps you're an in-law and you have the privilege of staying in your brother or your sister's house, please, that door called bedroom that belongs to the couple, never you go anywhere close it, because we know there are in-laws that like to peek into what is happening in that. I've had cases like that where the woman she feels so bad. The guy is always wanting to peep in to see what is happening. There are in-laws like that. If you are in your brother's house or your sister's house, please stay away from that door or stay away from that window. You have no business.
She didn't bring it to her husband's notice?
Well, she did, according to the report. She did, but what can the man do?
People in the bedroom.
People in the bedroom to see what is happening there. So people do it. People do it. So please, if you have the opportunity to stay in your brother or sister's house, you have no business with their window or their door.
How do you manage a situation where, I've seen people who live in just one room,
exactly,
and the bed is actually demarcated by curtain, and other people have to sit, in front of the curtain, where you have the couch, well.
Even at that, there are some houses, their windows are not okay. So whatever they are doing there, you can't even mourn when you are making love with your spouse. You can't. You just put one cloth inside your mouth so that nothing escapes from your mouth.
But
how will you enjoy it?
What is love making without mourning?
That's it.
What is it without screaming?
Without screaming, without making noise.
It's sad, bro. It still boils down to the fact that couples need to agree. So if both of you agree that this is what you want, then you can manage it. But
Exactly. But
as much as possible, they should avoid it.
We are advising that
Yeah.
they should avoid anything that has to do with what do you call this thing now, distraction.
Yeah.
They need privacy. For your love life to be quite fulfilling, you need privacy. In case you are in that situation, just like the pastor has just said, plan some days out, maybe a night out
Weekends.
or weekends in a hotel or something.
Or even send the children to holiday.
Yeah.
And
Send the
please,
kids to holiday.
and if you are sending the kids to holiday, because I'm always very, very skeptical about where my children stay.
Yeah.
If you're sending your children on holidays, please be careful. You don't send them into the arms of a waiting voucher, waiting to
Disaster.
devour
Yeah.
children. It's important. You want to enjoy your sexual life, please consider where you take your children. Don't you agree with me?
Yeah,
too?
I agree with you.
So you don't begin to...
The person must be family.
Yeah.
Maybe if the wife is very comfortable with her sister,
Okay.
yes.
Or
I said
grandma.
or grandma.
Or grandma.
Yeah.
But it must be an elderly person because these days a lot of things happen.
Exactly.
Yes.
A lot of things happen. A lot of things. Even fathers sleep with their children.
It's scary.
So
It's
a lot of
appalling.
things, you need to really, really check where you're taking your child to. So you don't say because Couples Classic, recommended that you send your children to some places for you to enjoy your sex, and then you now begin to say why. All right. Well, we are still on Couples Classic discussing about secrets of sexual fulfillment in marriage, and we are looking at privacy. All right, lack of privacy will not allow you enjoy your sexual life. Let's look at another aspect which has to do with good health. Good health. Good health in sexual relationship demands energy which only healthy people can give. So take good care of your health. Taking good care of your health rather will help your sex life a lot. You want to contribute to that?
Yeah, is actually very true. If you have a poor health, there's no way you can actually enjoy sex with your partner. So it's important that both parties, keep fit.
All right.
Exercise, eat a lot of fruits. Ensure that you are very healthy because it increases the passion, the intensity, and all of that. I think it's really true.
Okay.
People need to be healthy to enjoy.
And enjoy sex. Yes, you want to contribute.
Yes, being healthy for a good sex life, it's all about openness. When a man, it's like there are some men with low libido that don't even want to open up to their partner.
All right.
There are some 5 minutes, 10 minutes they are down,
Okay.
and you'll be like, what was that? Because a woman, before the oral play is even done, the person have come, and it's very crazy for a woman because she really want to enjoy her man and she really want to have the fun in it. So for a man who notices that, see, I have a problem, honey, and I think I need you to help me out with it. It's all about being confident in yourself and being confident in who you got married to. You open up, you tell her, she's going to help you. Because if it's a woman that loves you, she will see you through whatever you're going through. Because I haven't seen somebody being mocked of his, where he falls short.
Okay.
Any person that does that is insane to me. Because when you know that your husband, and women, when you see that your husband have a problem and he's not coming forth with it, you sit him down. You tell him, sweetie, see, I've noticed this kind of a thing, and I think you need to see the doctor about it. And you see, if he's a man who has been hiding in his cocoon, he will come out. So my wife notices this. Yes. So the men need to be healthy for them to satisfy their woman in bed.
What happens also when a partner is not healthy, is not feeling fine, and the man or the woman is pressed? He really wants to, he or she wants to have with sexual, interaction with his or her spouse, and it's obvious that this person isn't feeling fine. What happens? What is your advice?
It's all about compromise. When you see that your partner is sick,
Okay.
I feel sex should be the last thing on your mind,
Okay.
because it's all work with the emotions there.
All right.
Because when my husband is down, I don't even remember sex. Yes, because I want him to get well first.
Okay.
I want him to get well first,
Okay.
then we'll kick it off from there.
All right. Well, there are people who don't think so. There are people who I've had to handle a couple who I think it happened twice, and the man goes crazy. He says twice now he wanted sex. Even if my wife is not feeling fine, he should at least give it to me. I'm pressed. Does she want me to go and do it outside?
Let me tell you something. When a woman is not feeling all right, if the emotional connection is there, the man can easily put her in the mood. It's all about, your partner is not feeling well, you start with cuddling.
Okay. You start with cuddling.
You start with cuddling her, you start with caressing her. Before you know it, the deal is done. Everybody,
you forget that you're not feeling fine. Yeah, so if you're listening, in case you have that issue, please, men, learn to be romantic. The problem we have in this part of the world is that most men in this part of the world are not really romantic. There's a way you go about these things, and the woman who is not feeling fine, we forget that she's not feeling fine, and she just enjoys. You see, love making is so enjoyable that by the time you enter into it, the anointing just comes from nowhere, and you are even wanting more. Men, learn to touch the woman with a lovable hand, and I'm telling you, she's going to respond. In fact, before she even responds, her body is open for you to enjoy yourself. Well, we have some text or tweets or something that came in. Let's quickly look at their question. The first one says, as a man, I want to do some foreplay with my wife, like suck her private parts. But she thinks, she turns down, there. How do I tell her? Okay, probably her wife doesn't, his wife rather doesn't like, is it, what do you call it, oral sex. Okay, it smells. Oh, her private part smells. Oh, okay. I wish, for the person who asked that question, I wish you are on Couples Classic. We actually handled that few nights ago, for those who watched that video. But let me give my guests some time, just 1 minute each to talk. What would you have to say?
I feel that's why communication is very important. You people need to talk about it, and if it's something you have discussed and your partner is not seeing any point in it, I feel probably you need to recommend a professional to talk to your wife.
Exactly.
Something can be done about it.
Okay.
If you cannot do it,
okay,
if she cannot do it, I'm sure professionals should be able to handle it. But it's all about communication, actually.
It's all about communication. Yes, go on.
You see, the smell maybe is a pungent one, because vagina itself has a particular smell. Every vagina has their smell. So if it's very pungent, as he said, I think you need to talk to her about it in a loving manner, and then tell her, sweetie, we need to get to the hospital. I think you need to go for a swab test.
Okay.
Then let's know what the lab is saying. Maybe she has an infection or a sexual transmitted disease, maybe during her courtship days, dating days. Then you guys can pick it up from there. And some women have this way of using different soaps to wash their vagina, which is not okay, because every soap has its what do they call it? Ingredients they use in making it, and sometimes the bacteria that are guarding this vagina, sometimes you disrupt them with all those soaps, different smelly perfumes, so disrupt the bacteria that are supposed to take care of the walls of the vagina. So sometimes women, I prefer just ordinary warm water to wash yourself when you know you are not having any sexual disease. Just once you wake up in the morning, you use warm water, you wash it. It's clean. Vagina has its smell that attracts men. So once it's pungent, I think you need to go to the hospital.
Okay. Now, and for you who wants to engage in oral sex, you also need to count the cost, because there are things you also need to consider, okay, for you to engage in oral sex. If you must do it because that is how you derive sexual satisfaction, make sure that you are clean, okay? Make sure that you are clean. You and your wife, you are both clean. Clean up properly, all right, so that you don't contact something else afterwards. It's important. All right, I think it has been dealt with. I hope we answered that question. If there are other aspects to add, we do that. How do I get my wife to learn sex styles? Yes. Let me start. Teacher. Okay. Teacher.
Teach her. Yes.
Is communication.
Research.
Teach her.
Go to the
you
internet.
guys should Google it.
Yes. Teacher.
Different kind of sex styles, cowgirl, name it. There are plenty, spooning, everything. You teach her. This is the way I want you. Because some men love their women to ride them. So you better teach her. It's all about learning.
Okay.
Yes.
It's all about learning. Okay, teacher. There's something I also forgot to add to the first question. Haven't done all to stand. Okay, haven't cleaned up, made sure that you do not have what do you call it now, infection.
Yes.
There are other things you can add to your oral sex if you are into it. Okay, you can what do you call it now? Use some creams. Use some what do you call it now?
Oil.
Use some creams. Creams like maybe ice cream. Those beautiful things that will aid whatever you're doing. Okay, use them. Well, you can call our numbers afterwards for more information. All right. Okay. You said go to the internet, learn from the internet, and then you can call us afterwards. My number will be displayed so that we can give you direction further. My husband likes sex styles as if I'm a whore. She is asking that, saying that her husband likes sex styles as if she's a whore. Okay, what do you have to say, being a man?
I want to believe that within the confines of marriage, you can do whatever both of you feel comfortable doing, because that's the only place you are licensed to do it. Yeah. So I feel it still boils down to communication, and I think also each party need to loosen up, try new things, be willing to try new things. Or sometimes what we men will do is, this is what you want, and you just want to force the woman, to agree. But I think there's a way you can communicate it in a subtle way.
Yes.
Can we try new things? Can we loosen up? Can we do this? Why not try this? Sometimes you don't even know the sexual style that you enjoy the most until you try it.
Until you try it.
Yeah.
Everything should not be missionary, as if you are missionary yourself. You want to add to that?
There is nothing like whore in bedroom. To me, every woman is a whore to her husband.
That is why you were married in the first place.
That's the reason you got married to him, because that is where you do whatever the heck that concerns the both of you. There's nothing like whore. I think she should remove that particular thing, because every woman in her bedroom is a whore to her husband. Because what he can't get from you, where will he get it from?
Exactly.
So you better satisfy your man, and it's all about him teaching you. Just have it in mind that my husband wants this, and I'm ready to learn.
The only aspect I will not advise, the aspect when you now begin to engage in the anal part of sex. That one, I will never, ever, ever, recommend that for you. If he is coming with that, please, you need to talk with him with love and with respect. And probably also get people to assist you. I think we've exhausted the questions. We've talked. We have also exhausted the points we have under the topic secrets of sexual fulfillment in marriage. It's important you do your best in your bedroom to make sure that your husband doesn't look, or your wife doesn't look out. All right? A lot of marriages are suffering because of their sexual lives. If you are not getting that fulfillment, please have that dialogue with your partner and talk with your partner. All right? It's very important. My number will be displayed on the screen, so just so for you to be able to call. In case you wish to talk further with experts, please call me on 08022221286. Okay? It is going to be displayed on the screen. Thank you once again, my lovely viewers, watching me here on Couples Classic HBN TV. Every Wednesday is the time to tune in to this station, God's own channel. You cannot regret doing that. On set with me has been Pastor Makari.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm delighted to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Twice you made it here.
Yeah.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Uju.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Twice you've made it down here. We hope to call you again very soon once the need comes. God bless you for joining us. See you again next week, Wednesday by 4.
Your love